The idea came out of nowhere. I could see Harry very clearly, and it was the most physical rush of excitement. I'd never felt that excited about anything.
In this world of video games and DVDs, many people have asked, what would it take to get kids reading again? It took a wizard.
It's J.K. Rowling!
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince sold 6.9 million copies in just the first 24 hours.
This is unprecedented. I mean, it's been said that if you put all the books that have been bought that you've written about Harry Potter end to end, they go around the equator nearly 1.5 times, and we ain't finished yet. This isn't just a bestseller. This is historic.
You pick up a paper and there are casual references to Harry Potter. That's the freakiest thing, is that it permeates odd stories, and it becomes... That's more of an indication to me how big it's become than anything else.
Harry, I'm sorry. We didn't realize you were under so much pressure.
Well, I am. 125 million kids have read my book. And if the movie isn't good, they're going to rip me a new one that no magic wand can repair.
Please, Harry, good luck.
I have no idea how many books I've signed, but it's got to be in the tens of thousands now. So if anyone wants to own the very last unsigned Harry Potter in existence, I sometimes feel like I should just don't get it signed. It'll be valuable one day. This is an old notebook in which I worked out, and again, I don't want you to come too close on this. That is the history of the Death Eaters.
Oculus Reparo. Holy cricket, you're Harry Potter.
Are any of the characters based on anyone you knew or know in real life?
Yes, but obviously I have to be careful because some of my characters are pretty unpleasant.
People will think you're up to something.
This is the thing that I was very dubious about showing you. And I don't really know why, because what does this give away? But this is the final chapter of book 7. Which I'm still dubious about showing you. I don't know why I feel like the camera's going to be able to see through the folder. I wrote the final chapter in something like 1990.
Really?
Yeah.
So you knew exactly how the series was going to end?
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Why stop when they grow up? It might be interesting to know what becomes of Harry as an adult.
How do you know he'll still be alive?
Oh.
You'll be okay, Harry. You're a great wizard. You really are.
Why not extend it to 9 then? I mean, seriously, why stick to the 7? I mean, is it just too much to ask?
Because I think that you've got to go out when you've
done it.
Yeah, you have. I admire the people who go out when people still want more. I don't think I'm ever going to have anything like Harry again. I think it's you just get one like Harry. Every day I think how lucky I am.
No pressure, then. No pressure. Like I wasn't feeling pressured enough already. You talk about Beatlemania, I feel slightly like I'm Herman and the Hermits having to go on after the Stones and the Beatles. My consolation is I have the most interesting shoes. Snakes. Thank you for that. I notice you like Snape. Just never give up hope, you people, do you? Anyway, I'm going to do a short reading from Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Short because, in my experience, my readers like me to answer questions and like me to hasten on to that part. So I'm going to take a few questions after I've done this reading. This concerns a part of the story where Harry goes back in time and watches as Albus Dumbledore, a younger Albus Dumbledore, goes to inform another famous pupil of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry that he has a place at the school. And you really shouldn't be cheering that particular one. Snape, I can kind of see, but anyway. They passed through a set of iron gates into a bare courtyard that fronted a rather grim square building surrounded by high railings. They mounted the few steps leading to the front door and knocked once. After a moment or two, the door was opened by a scruffy girl wearing an apron. Good afternoon. I have an appointment with a Mrs. Cole, who I believe is the matron here. Oh, said the bewildered-looking girl, taking in Dumbledore's eccentric appearance. Just a mo. Mrs. Cole, she bellowed over her shoulder. Harry heard a distant voice shouting something in response. The girl turned back to Dumbledore. Come in, she's on her way. Dumbledore stepped into a hallway tiled in black and white. The whole place was shabby but spotlessly clean. Harry and the older Dumbledore followed. Before the front door had closed, a skinny, harassed-looking woman came scurrying toward them. She had a sharp-featured face that appeared more anxious than unkind. Good afternoon, said Dumbledore, holding out his hand. Mrs. Cole simply gaped. My name is Albus Dumbledore. I sent you a letter requesting an appointment, and you very kindly invited me here today. Mrs. Cole blinked. Apparently deciding that Dumbledore was not a hallucination, she said feebly, oh yes, well then, you'd better come into my room, yes. She led Dumbledore into a small room that seemed part sitting room, part office. It was as shabby as the hallway, and the furniture was old and mismatched. She invited Dumbledore to sit on a rickety chair and seated herself behind a cluttered desk, eyeing him nervously. I am here, as I told you in my letter, to discuss Tom Riddle and arrangements for his future, said Dumbledore. Are you family? Asked Mrs. Cole. No, I am a teacher, said Dumbledore. I have come to offer Tom a place at my school. What school's this, then? It's called Hogwarts, said Dumbledore. And how come you're interested in Tom? We believe he has qualities we are looking for. You mean he's won a scholarship? How can he have done? He's never been entered for one. Well, his name has been down for our school since birth. Who registered him? His parents? There was no doubt that Mrs. Cole was an inconveniently sharp woman. Apparently Dumbledore thought so too, for Harry now saw him slip his wand out of the pocket of his velvet suit, at the same time picking up a piece of perfectly blank paper from Mrs. Cole's desktop. Here, said Dumbledore, waving his wand once as he passed her the piece of paper. I think this will make everything clear. Mrs. Cole's eyes slid out of focus and back again as she gazed intently at the blank paper. That seems perfectly in order, she said placidly, handing it back. Then her eyes fell upon a bottle of gin and 2 glasses that had certainly not been present a few seconds previously. May I offer you a glass of gin? She said in an extra refined voice. Thank you very much, said Dumbledore, beaming. It soon became clear that Mrs. Cole was no novice when it came to gin drinking. Pouring both of them a generous measure, she drained her own glass in one gulp. Smacking her lips frankly, she smiled at Dumbledore for the first time, and he did not hesitate to press his advantage. I was wondering whether you could tell me anything of Tom Riddle's history. I think he was born here in the orphanage. That's right, said Mrs. Cole, helping herself to more gin. I remember it clear as anything, because I've just started here myself. New Year's Eve and bitter cold, snowing, you know, nasty night. And this girl, not much older than I was myself at the time, comes staggering up the front steps. Well, she wasn't the first. We took her in, and she had the baby within the hour, and she was dead in another hour.